This is my spoiler-free Spider-Man Miles Morales review for the PS5. Let's get right into it. Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Games and thank you for stopping by. Let's go ahead and talk about Spider-Man Miles Morales. So Spider-Man Miles Morales launched with the PlayStation 5 and is basically a sequel to the first game, but not a full sequel, and I'll talk about that later. This game is beautiful to look at. It has a lot of great things, going for it. Basically, the action is amazing. It looks super gorgeous in 4K, and it has a performance mode that lets you play in 60 frames per second. This game is just like top notch on the PlayStation 5. So coming from the PS4 Pro, seeing a game run this good on PS5 makes me really happy to see what else they have in store for us on PlayStation, especially with the PlayStation exclusives coming, later this year and beyond. So without any spoilers, I want to go ahead and talk about the brief story that you're in with Miles Morales. Basically, you're taking over for Spider-Man. He is away for a little bit. And as Miles Morales, you have to take the mantle, because if you guys played the last game, you guys know the last game, he was also bit by a spider that had a different power than the one that Peter Parker got bit by. But it's awesome seeing this in action, guys. Seeing Miles Morales come to life fighting as Spider-Man is amazing. He has to prove himself, of course, but it's always awesome seeing him there learning and growing with the team around him, because he has his little sidekick Genki, and he also has a mentorship from Peter Parker, and also he has the guidance of his mother, because we also know the last game his father had died. So that kind of is always in the back of Miles Morales' head, and he wants to prove himself not only to his father who passed away, he wants to be better for him, but he wants to prove himself to his mother, protector, and also protect the city just like Peter Parker. He wants to be just like Peter Parker, but in his own way. So we see a growth, like I said, in Miles Morales. We see him going, starting to the game as, hey, I want to be like Spider-Man, the Spider-Man that we know as Peter Parker. But then later on, you see him growing into his own self, learning from his mistakes and learning as his own Spider-Man, like he is his own unique Spider-Man, and then people out there recognize that, and you'll see that throughout the game. So it's awesome seeing that. Now, with that, being said, I don't want to spoil the story, so that's all I'm going to say about that. Basically, the beginning, Peter Parker is away, and then, Miles Morales has to take over, and it gets awesome. It's an awesome, awesome story. Please, if you play it, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I really love the story. And let's go ahead and talk about the other things that I do want to talk about in this video. First up, let's talk about the combat. The combat in this game is amazing, guys. I love the combat in the first game on PlayStation 4. I thought it was really responsive, and it was fluid, and it was awesome going, beating one enemy up and then going to the next one and beating the other guy up, and all doing a bunch of combos and stuff. This game takes that to another level with the new DualSense controller. You feel like the action in your hands there. You feel like almost every feedback of you hitting the characters, it just feels so good. And the powers that Miles Morales has are amazing, not only to witness on screen, but you can also feel it in the controller, and it's super dope. It's just like a great, great way for them to immerse you, the developers to immerse us in the game. Is just super awesome. And the combat is fluid, is very, very responsive, is satisfying when you pull off moves. So I think it's, it has a lot of good stuff going for it too. Now, I did find some glitches here and there. Sometimes I would hit an enemy and the enemy would get stuck on a fence or something, or on a car. But besides that, there was nothing huge wrong with the combat. But as I said, guys, it's really responsive, satisfying, it's fun, a lot of action, and yes, it can get repetitive, especially if you're taking on the different crimes around the city. You take them on and you do the same moves over and over, but it's very fun. It didn't get that repetitive for me, at least. I didn't get that tired of it. Usually whenever I do something in a game multiple times, I get bored of it, but in this game, I looked forward to fighting those crimes. I always wanted to be better and better and better, get better combos, pull off more moves and learn new things. And I really, really enjoyed that from the combat in this game. I briefly want to talk about the sound in this game. With the Pulse 3D headset, you feel like you're in the game. You feel like you're in New York City. You're walking around as Miles Morales. You hear the cars. You hear the sirens going off. You hear like people talking around you, especially like indoors. You hear like all the little echoes of footsteps and stuff. It feels really, really immersive, and it's awesome. I think that sound design is so good, and the way it incorporates the Pulse 3D headset, because that headset is nice and soft, like it's not that heavy on your head. You can play 2 or 3 hours and you won't even notice that you're wearing a headset. It's just awesome. It's not bad at all. Now I did play also with the sound coming from my monitor, and that also sounds good. It doesn't sound bad or anything. Like I have cheap speakers for the monitor. They're not like, they don't have that much bass or anything, but they do sound fine. It's not like anything out of this world. But the Pulse 3D headset really, really makes you feel like you're inside of the game. Not only that, the music in the game is awesome. Adding the whole hip-hop flavor, the hip-hop, the salsa, all that stuff to the music is really awesome, especially like that whole, menu song. That is super awesome. It's both epic, and then it has a hip-hop feel to it. It just feels or sounds really, really, really good. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about that, because that was one of my favorite things. Like the sound design was really good, but the music, the soundtrack is just so epic, and it feels so freaking awesome. Is really, really good as well. So we touched on the story so far. We talked about the combat and the sound. Now I want to go ahead and talk about the visuals. Looking at this game, guys, is breathtaking, guys. Like looking at New York City in 4K, it's awesome. This game, like the HDR makes everything pop. It just looks so clean, so clear. The text is so awesome. Now, I was recording with 4K in the with my 4K Elgato 4K 60, and it doesn't do it justice. Recording that and then watching the actual monitor, like I don't know why, but it just doesn't do it justice. You have to watch the real game, because I think like the 4K 60 for some reason didn't record HDR or something, but it's just, like I said, guys, it does not do it justice. It looks so good. And if you're watching any videos here on YouTube, they might be compressed, like 4K compressed or whatever. So make sure if you play the game on 4K, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It looks so awesome. The textures on Spider-Man's, his suit looks amazing. Everything about the characters, the colors, everything, the background, the sunsets, the night, the snow hitting his suit look awesome, guys. It's just so cool. Now some, like, other secondary characters didn't get that much treatment when it comes to details like that. They kind of look like, not like last gen, but they don't look that refined, basically. So that's what I'm trying to say. But when it comes to Spider-Man and the background environment, it just looks beautiful. They did a great job to make you feel and see like, New York City as it is. It's just so awesome to look at. It's really, really beautiful to witness this game in 4K. And I can't imagine later on getting like a patch for 8K. That would be crazy. Even though I don't have an 8K TV, that would be awesome to see as well. One of the biggest things about the game is the length of the main storyline. That was not long at all. I mean, it took me less than 10 hours to beat the main story. It was more like around 6 hours or so. And the thing is that, this game, if you buy the standalone Miles Morales version, is $50. And I believe that is a lot of money for like a 6-hour game. I would pay $40 for it, but 50 is like, hey man, come on, a 6-hour game. But they do make up for it with all the unlockables, all the secrets, all the things you have to find in the city, all the suit upgrades, all the gadgets you have to upgrade and stuff like that. All that stuff makes up for it, kind of, but at the same time, this game, I'm pretty sure though it'll get some DLC later on, maybe expanding the story and making it longer. But right now, $50 is quite a bit of money to buy for a game that lasts 6 hours if you're only trying to play the main story. But at the same time, in my hectic schedule, 6 hours wasn't that bad. But I can see someone out there that has more time, that want to finish the game or get like a full experience, and they'll finish the game like in one sitting, and then they'll be left like, hey, what is there else to do in this game? You know, so that's the only thing that I think can be a negative thing for the game, the price and the number of hours it takes to beat the main story. And I heard a lot of people were having problems, you know, with their console crashing, you know, the game crashing their console and having to reboot or whatever. I didn't experience that. Like I said, the only thing I experienced was, you know, in combat, sometimes the enemies would get stuck. And there was also a funny scene here where Miles Morales' mom is on the phone, and the phone is literally going through her head and, like, you know, hovering in the air. It's like, yo, why is the phone floating in the air? Like, you guys could have fixed this. But I'm pretty sure they'll fix all those glitches with a patch later on. And hopefully, like I said, we'll get some DLC to experience more of this game and maybe like a separate storyline. But right now, guys, this game didn't have that many issues in my opinion. And I think that, you know, it's a beautiful, awesome game for 2020 for the launch of PS5. I think it's a really good game. So my final thoughts, guys, this game is really awesome. I love the combat, I love the graphics, I love the sound. There were a couple glitches out there, and the length of it are the only things that really bother me a little bit, but it didn't kill the whole thing for me. It was really, really, really good, well done or whatever. So in my personal opinion, I would give this game an 8 out of 10 for all those things. Like I said, the negatives being the length and also the glitches. Like, they have to patch those things out. But besides that, the story was awesome. I really loved the story. I actually, guys, I got teary-eyed at the end of the game. Like, this game made me feel something. It was really awesome to see that at the end of the game. But, you know, it's like awesome seeing everything come together. I can't wait to see, like, you know, more of Spider-Man, Miles Morales and Spider-Man Peter Parker teaming up, like maybe doing some kind of co-op stuff with a friend at home or online co-op. That would be insane. That would be awesome to do. And if they make that happen, that would be sick. But also, my wish list, you know, hopefully we'll get some DLC. So hopefully we'll get that soon and maybe make this game, you know, last a little longer than just 6 hours. But at the same time, there's a lot of things to do out there. So I'm going to go for the platinum later on, like maybe this week or whatever. I'll work on the platinum to get everything out there, to get a final complete taste and view for this game. So hopefully, like, my next video on Spider-Man Miles Morales will be my final impressions, my final review. I want to complete it 100% to get that platinum trophy, just because I love the last game so much and I got the platinum for that. I think this game needs to get the platinum too, so maybe I'll work on that this week. Guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about Spider-Man Miles Morales if you've already played it. And if you don't have a PS5 to play yet, I hope you get your PS5 soon. Hopefully we get some news about more PS5 soon. And everyone out there can get their hands on a PS5 and Spider-Man Miles Morales. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out and stay safe.